Do not use unrated connectors. Electrical safety is paramount. Using unrated connectors can compromise the integrity of the electrical system and pose a safety hazard. Use connectors specifically rated for multiple wires. Look for connectors labeled as multi-cable rated or with a specific number of wires they can accommodate. Check the manufacturer's website or packaging for detailed specifications. National brand connectors are recommended. They are manufactured according to industry standards and have undergone rigorous testing to ensure safety and reliability. They come with documentation and ratings that can provide peace of mind. If rated connectors cannot be found locally, consider ordering them online from a reputable retailer. Ensure that the connectors meet the required specifications for the application. Keep the documentation provided with the connectors for future reference. Here are some examples of approved multi-cable connectors. Firstly, Ideal Industries Sure Twist Push-in connectors. Secondly, 3M Scotch Lock Twist-on connectors. Thirdly, Thomas & Betts Push Lock connectors. Remember, electrical safety is always a priority. Use only approved materials and follow manufacturer's instructions to ensure a safe and reliable electrical system. When working with electrical systems, it is vital to adhere to safety regulations and best practices to protect from electrical hazards. Understanding the importance of using appropriately rated connectors is crucial. Connectors play a fundamental role in creating secure and reliable electrical connections. Multi-cable connectors are designed to accommodate multiple wires within a single connection point, providing an efficient and organized way to manage wiring in electrical panels and junction boxes. However, it's essential to recognize that not all connectors are created equal. Unrated connectors lack the necessary testing and certification to guarantee their performance and safety. Using unrated connectors can introduce several potential risks. Firstly, they may not provide a secure electrical connection, leading to loose wires and arcing. This can generate heat, potentially causing a fire. Secondly, unrated connectors may not be made from materials that can withstand the electrical current and environmental conditions, which can lead to premature failure and system malfunction. Thirdly, they may not meet the required insulation standards, increasing the risk of electrical shock. Therefore, it is crucial to use only connectors that are specifically rated for multiple wires and have undergone rigorous testing to ensure their safety and reliability. These connectors are typically labeled as multi-cable rated and come with specifications indicating the number of wires they can accommodate. To ensure you are using the correct type of connector, always check the manufacturer's website or packaging for detailed specifications. National brand connectors are generally recommended as they are manufactured according to industry standards and have undergone rigorous testing to ensure safety and reliability. These connectors come with documentation and ratings that provide peace of mind and assurance that they meet the required standards. If you cannot find rated connectors locally, consider ordering them online from a reputable retailer. Ensure that the connectors meet the required specifications for the application, including the wire gauge, voltage, and amperage. It's also essential to keep the documentation provided with the connectors for future reference. When selecting multi-cable connectors, consider the following factors. Firstly, the wire gauge or size of the wires you will be connecting. The connector must be rated for the specific wire gauge to ensure a secure and reliable connection. Secondly, the number of wires you need to connect. Choose a connector that can accommodate the required number of wires without overcrowding. Thirdly, the type of insulation on the wires. Ensure the connector is compatible with the type of insulation to prevent damage or degradation. Fourthly, the environmental conditions in which the connector will be used. If the connector will be exposed to moisture, chemicals, or extreme temperatures, choose a connector that is specifically rated for those conditions. Examples of approved multi-cable connectors include Ideal Industries Sure Twist Push-in connectors, 3M Scotch Lock Twist-on connectors, and Thomas & Betts Push Lock connectors. These connectors have been tested and certified to meet industry standards for safety and performance. When installing multi-cable connectors, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Firstly, turn off the power to the circuit before starting any electrical work. Secondly, strip the insulation from the wires to the appropriate length. Thirdly, insert the wires into the connector, ensuring they are fully seated and securely tightened. Fourthly, use a wire stripper to avoid nicking or damaging the wires. Fifthly, do not over-tighten the connector, as this can damage the wires or the connector itself. Electrical codes and standards provide guidance on the proper selection, installation, and use of electrical connectors. It is essential to be familiar with these codes and standards to ensure that your electrical work is safe and compliant. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is the most widely adopted electrical code in the United States. The NEC provides detailed requirements for electrical installations, including the types of connectors that can be used in different applications. State and local electrical codes may also have specific requirements for electrical connectors. It is essential to check with your local authorities to ensure that you are complying with all applicable codes. In addition to the NEC and local codes, there are also industry standards that provide guidance on the design, manufacturing, and testing of electrical connectors. These standards are developed by organizations such as the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, or IEE, and the National Electrical Manufacturers Association, or NEMA. By following these codes and standards, one can ensure that electrical work is safe, reliable, and compliant with all applicable regulations. It is also worth noting that electrical work should only be performed by qualified and licensed electricians. If one is not comfortable working with electricity, it is always best to hire a professional. Always prioritize electrical safety. Using only approved materials and following manufacturer's instructions ensures a safe and reliable electrical system. Electrical safety is not just a recommendation, it is a responsibility. Understanding the risks associated with electricity and taking the necessary precautions to protect oneself and others is vital. One must always turn off the power to the circuit before starting any electrical work. Use insulated tools and equipment to avoid contact with live wires. Never work in wet or damp conditions. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and gloves. If unsure about anything, always consult a qualified electrician. By following these safety precautions, one can significantly reduce the risk of electrical accidents and injuries. Electrical systems are complex and can be dangerous if not handled properly. It is always best to err on the side of caution and seek professional help when needed. In addition to using rated connectors, there are several other factors to consider when ensuring electrical safety. Firstly, make sure that all wiring is properly insulated. Damaged or frayed insulation can expose live wires, creating a shock hazard. Secondly, ground all electrical outlets and appliances. Grounding provides a path for electricity to flow safely back to the source in the event of a fault. Thirdly, use ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, in areas where there is a risk of water exposure, such as bathrooms and kitchens. GFCIs can detect even small leaks of current and quickly shut off the power to prevent electric shock. Fourthly, do not overload electrical circuits. Overloading a circuit can cause the wires to overheat, potentially leading to a fire. Fifthly, regularly inspect electrical cords and appliances for damage. Replace any damaged cords or appliances immediately. Sixthly, install smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in the home. These detectors can provide early warning of a fire or carbon monoxide leak, giving one time to escape. By following these additional safety tips, one can create a safe electrical environment in their home or workplace. Remember, electrical safety is an ongoing process. Regularly inspect and maintain electrical systems to ensure they are functioning properly and safely. Staying informed about electrical safety best practices and taking the necessary precautions to protect oneself and others is crucial. In conclusion, prioritizing electrical safety is paramount when working with electrical systems. Use only approved materials, follow manufacturer's instructions, and be familiar with electrical codes and standards. By taking these precautions, one can ensure a safe and reliable electrical system.